Good day, students. Welcome to the basic science class. We continue from where we stopped on the topic, characteristics of living things. So we're going to start with the growth today. Growth. So what is growth? When we say we grow, what do we mean by growing? Growth can be defined as the irreversible. What do I say? Irreversible. Irreversible what? Irreversible enlargement of a living thing. In plants, growth occurs at the tip or at the top, and it's called apical growth, and it also occurs within the plant itself, and it's called intercalary growth. So let's give example of the apical growth in a plant. So let's say, for example, this is a plant, okay? Growth continues at the top here until the plant continues to increase in size. And this is what is called apical. It's called what? Apical growth. Growth also occurs within the plant, okay? And it's called intercalary. Together, intercalary. While in animals, growth is always intercalary. That is, within the animals. Growth in plants ceases earlier than in animals. Growth in plants is earlier in animals than in plants. So the animals continue to grow, and earlier at a certain age, if for example, what we mean by earlier is that if for example an animal, for example a human being, is supposed to spend like 50 years or 60 years on surface of the earth. So it continues to grow at early stage in life, like say 21 or 18, the growth is going to stop. And that is what is called the growth ceases earlier in animals than plants. So let's look at another feature. That is, we have the excretion. Excretion. Somebody will say, I want to excrete. Somebody will say, I want to defecate. There's difference between defecation and excretion. Number what is that? Number 6. Number 6. So let's define excretion and let us differentiate between excretion and defecation, because this topic comes out in a past question. So excretion is the removal. It is the removal of metabolic waste product. It is the removal of metabolic waste product from the body of a living thing. So generally, the plants, yes, let me give you examples of waste products. Let's give examples of waste products. Waste products. For example, we have, let me give a structure first before I give what comes out of that structure. Let's take human being as an example. Human beings have various structures they use to excrete. They have various structures with which they use to excrete. So human excrete with what? Using, number 1, the kidney. Okay. We also excrete using the skin. We also excrete using the lungs. Okay. And we excrete using the liver. So what does the kidney excrete? Your kidney. I'm sure you know that you have 2 kidneys. So the kidney excretes what? Urine. The kidney excretes urine. What does the skin excrete? Does your skin excrete the sweat? Okay, the skin excretes the sweat. That is good. What about the lungs? The lungs excrete what? The lungs excrete carbon dioxide. The lungs excrete carbon dioxide. While your liver excretes the bile. I'm going to tell you about the bile when we get to the topic excretion. So let's look at the difference between the plant and the animal in terms of excretion. Are you done with this? Yes. Let me just write here. So generally, The plants excrete using what structure? There's a particular structure that is called the stomata. Okay? Plants excrete using, okay, using stomata. Stomata are holes. Are what? Are holes in the leaf of a plant. Stomatas are, let me give you the structure of a leaf here. That is good. That is the structure of the leaf here. Okay, that is good. So the leaf have pores. You cannot see the pores. They are called the holes. Those holes, they are called the stomata. They are called the stomata. That is good. So generally, the animals have a well-developed system for excretion or structures for excretion than the plants. So let's talk about the characteristic respiration. Everybody respire. Everybody breathe in. Yes. Breathe out. Yes. Respiration. We've talked about excretion. Let's talk about respiration. Respiration. That's number 7. Respiration. So respiration involves 2 things. The first thing is to breathe in. The process you take to breathe in is called the breathing. Okay? The second thing is that after you breathe in the oxygen, what is the function of that oxygen? So I'm going to combine the breathing in of oxygen and the function of the oxygen in the word respiration. So it is the breathing in of oxygen. It is breathing in of what? Of O2 is simply written as what? As oxygen. Oxygen is simply written as O2. Okay? What will the oxygen do for you? To break down food, to produce what? Energy. Look at the food you ate. This is the food you ate. But the food you ate or you take in will not be able to produce the energy unless the oxygen has reacted with that food. And that is what is called respiration. So that will lead us to the equation, chemical equation for respiration. That is good of you. So we react the food, or we react oxygen with the food. The food that will be reacted with is called the glucose. It's called the what? Glucose. That is C6H12O6. Good of you. Plus the oxygen will give us, as a byproduct, carbon dioxide, water, and the energy the E represents the energy we are looking for. Okay? This is called the equation for respiration. This is called equation for respiration. So, C6H12O6 is called glucose, and the O2 is the oxygen. The CO2 is the what? The carbon dioxide. While your H2O is the water and the E is your energy. The equation is not balanced, but I'm going to balance the equation in the next class for you. Memorize it like this by saying respiratory equation is as doth. C6H12O6 plus O2 will give us carbon dioxide and water and energy. So we'll meet in the next class. Goodbye. Thank you.